We were friends. I don't think that had the relationship that everybody thought when we first got to the Cowboys. I think everybody, felt like we were friends in a way socially, as far as spending time together, and I think more than anything else, it was respect and knowing each other more than it was really a friendship to where we spent a lot of time together for 20, 25 years.
You were roommates only because it was alphabetical, right? On the road,
exactly.
Jones and Johnson, so you wound up as roommates, not like you were bosom buddies, right?
Exactly. It happened that for a time we played in and around some of the same positions, but it really was Road and Jones and Johnson. But let me say that there was a perception that we were confident. And that just wasn't the case when we were there and had a little more time together as people that go to school together. What actually ended up happening is I went in one direction. I was probably too greedy to go into coaching. I wanted to make more money than coaches make, I thought.
To the extent that there's any problem between the two of you, is the problem more one of ego, stepping into each other's spotlight, or is it a problem with a flawed working relationship in some way, where you might disagree about personnel, and he is, after all, the owner, president, and general manager, and he has to sign off on all those moves? So what I'm getting to is it more the personal thing on the ego side, like, hey, Jerry, get out of here, I'm the coach, or is there actually a practical objection?
No, I think as far as having something that's flawed in the working relationship, I don't think that there's anything close to that. I think as far as the decision-making, I don't know that it could be any better than the way it is right now. And we've really never had a controversy as far as making decisions and as far as what we wanted to do with the Dallas Cowboys.
Here's a quote from Jimmy, and he's issued several like it, but this will suffice. He says, "It's obvious Jerry is a frustrated football coach." Now, you told Frank DeFord, "I'll tell you what, I could coach this team. I could coach the blank out of this team." And you went on to say you weren't prepared to give it the time and the dedication that Jimmy would bring to it, and perhaps wouldn't have the background maybe so that you would be able to pull it off walking right in the door and get the faith of the players. But you seem to believe that just on pure ability you could do it. And he thinks you're a frustrated football coach.
Well, he's right, and in terms of being a frustrated football coach. But most frustrated football coaches that have any sense at all are sitting at home watching it behind the television set, not trying to take the Dallas Cowboys and step out there and try to win Super Bowls with it. I think too much of not only Jimmy, but the great coaches of the game that have been here, Coach Lombardi, Coach Landry. I think too much. I couldn't be sitting in this chair if I actually were serious about stepping out there and really doing it.
Suppose there were a button you could push, and the players would accept you walking into the locker room as the coach. You wouldn't have to clear that credibility barrier. Do you think you could coach an NFL team?
When I'm through and they put me in the ground, my coaching record's going to be 0-0.
But could you do it?
I said no. No, not at all.
Now, this question, I think, would be different if I put it to Marv Levy about Ralph Wilson, who is one sort of owner, as opposed to putting it to you about Jerry Jones, who is owner, president, and general manager. So in that context, do you respect his football knowledge?
Yeah, I respect Jerry's football knowledge as an owner and as somebody that loves the game.
But you don't respect him as an equal, then I'm inferring to you in terms of football knowledge and judgment.
Well, I think that, I know, because I have spent 30 years, learning what I know right now. And not just Jerry, but someone that hasn't been doing that for 30 years. I don't know that I would have them as an equal football knowledge, as what I have.
Do you have a problem with that?
It shouldn't be. I have no problem with that at all. The facts are that I have no problem at all with when Jimmy responds to me saying I can coach the living you-know-what out of the team, with him basically saying, hey, I think that brings a smile to my face, but let's get serious. We got to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Seems pretty apparent. There's some overlap between the two of you guys in background and in your present state of mind, your goals, your approach. But there are also enough differences and separate strengths that you have a tremendous partnership out of this.
Hey, I feel good when I'm around Jimmy. One of the reasons I feel good is because I got a lot of confidence in him. I know he can get the job done. Certainly, if Jimmy, in any way, personality-wise, was so offensive to me that I couldn't live with it, then we'd make changes. That's just not the case.
And occasionally I do get offensive.